Juan Soto has to be feeling like that one meme of Will Smith standing in a room all by himself, and he actually does, because someone posted this, Will Smith in a Nationals hat, and Juan Soto commented on it with a bunch of laughing faces, so you know that the Nationals are entering a rebuild phase, and Juan Soto is going to be the guy that they rebuild around. But what's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB Recap. We have so many trades to talk about, including that monster trade, Max Scherzer and Trea Turner going to LA. Unfortunately, I was not able to cover it yesterday because I was at a screening of Suicide Squad, and in my opinion, I feel like I deserve to have a little bit of a break because my wrists are starting to hurt from all the work that I've been doing. But either way, let's go ahead and break down all of the trades before we talk about the highlights from yesterday's games. We have Danny Duffy. This is a very underrated trade to the Dodgers. Danny Duffy, who was on the IL, he was so good in the first month of the season. Yes, he's been a little iffy ever since then, but he adds depth to that rotation, and if not, he is going to be in that bullpen to provide some bulk innings. You have Daniel Hudson going from the Nationals to the Padres. Like I mentioned, the Nationals are in full rebuild mode, and they're also selling. We'll talk about that in just a second. Diego Castillo is going to the Mariners, so in Jerry DePoto we trust. I guess if you're a Seattle fan, would you rather have Kendall Graveman, or would you rather have Diego Castillo and Abraham Toro? Because that's pretty much what you got. I honestly think that Castillo is a pretty good pickup. Ryan Tepera is going to the Chicago White Sox, so he goes from the Cubs to another Chicago team. That was a big time pickup in my opinion. So the White Sox have added Cesar Hernandez and Tepera in the last few days. Kyle Schwarber, the player of the month in June, absolutely tore apart Major League Baseball. He is heading to the Boston Red Sox. So Franchy Cordero, who they traded for in the offseason in that Andrew Benintendi trade, he most likely is going to get sent down, as Kyle Schwarber is going to be in that lineup almost every single day once he is off the injured list. And then we have a breaking story. Jose Berrios is going to the Toronto Blue Jays, and I cannot believe the haul that the Twins got in return. As a Cleveland fan, this really worries me because, yes, Jose Berrios is a fantastic pitcher, so the Blue Jays, they got instantly better pretty much in the blink of an eye, whereas the Twins, they are rebuilding and they're looking towards the future. They get Austin Martin, a superstar prospect, the 5th overall pick just a year ago, and they get Simeon Woods Richardson, who has an almost 14 strikeouts per 9. They're 2 top 10 prospects in exchange for a year and a half control of Jose Berrios, so that was a big-time trade in my opinion. Both teams won. It doesn't seem that way for Toronto fans because they gave up Austin frickin' Martin, and I would kind of agree with that. But Jose Berrios, he is very good, and the Blue Jays are going for it this year. And then last but not least, before we talk about the highlights, let's talk about that monster trade. Max Scherzer and Trea Turner are heading to the LA Dodgers for a ton of prospects. So the Nationals are getting Keibert Ruiz and Josiah Gray. Both of those guys were top 50 prospects coming into the year, and I think at the time of this recording, Keibert Ruiz is the 16th overall prospect in all of Major League Baseball, and he is destroying the cover off the baseball in AAA, so I think the Nationals, they got a pretty good return. Max Scherzer, I'm not sure if he was going to re-sign because it seemed like he was really disappointed to leave Washington, and Trea Turner, the fact that he is not a free agent until 2023. Is Gavin Lux going to get traded? I don't know, but that 1 through 8 for the Dodgers is absolutely insane. The only player that is not an all-star is Will Smith, and he should have been an all-star this year. So when it comes to the best lineups in baseball, I'd say the Dodgers are now number 1, followed by the Astros, followed by the Blue Jays, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and a lot of other just insane lineups. I love Major League Baseball right now. We're in a really good state because the deadline, we need more of this. Speaking of more of this, what did the White Sox just do? Don't they already have Liam Hendricks? I have no idea who is going back to the Cubs in return for Craig Kimbrell, who is having one of the best seasons of his career, but they have Hendricks and Craig Kimbrell. That is disgusting. So expect more insanity coming later. I do have my phone next to me. Make sure you guys hit those bells because there is going to be a Chris Bryant trade. That's what the rumor is right now. All right, let's talk about the games from yesterday. We have 6 shutouts from yesterday, but let's talk about the walk-off victory from yesterday. That came in game number 2. So let's quickly talk about game number 1 of the Nationals versus the Phillies. JT, he ties it up in the 4th inning, and that was all that Max Scherzer gave Philadelphia in his final start as a member of the Washington Nationals. 6 innings, only 1 earned run with 5 strikeouts, and Wheeler was dominant up until he left a pitch right down the middle to Yan Gomes, and Kyle Finnegan, he saves it as the Nationals win game number 1 3-1. Game number 2, let's just fast forward all the way until the Phillies are down by a score of 7-0. Then you have Rhys Hoskins, hold on, my phone The Braves are acquiring Adam Duvall, so I'm going to go ahead and just say that's happening. This comes from John Heyman. That's on my dummy account because he blocked my main account. But the Braves are getting back Adam Duvall, who they lost in the offseason because they chose Marcell Ozuna. Yeah, that was not the best choice. Either way, let's talk about the Phillies. Hoskins, McCutchen, and Bohm, they all go yard, but they were solo shots. And then Alec Bohm brings it to within 1 in the 7th inning. And JT Realmuto plays hero ball and drives him 2 more to tie up the ball game. Zimmerman, he gives the Nationals a small lead in the 8th, a 1-run lead, but then Bamboo Brad Miller hits a walk-off grand slam, and I have no idea what the Nationals announcers were thinking because they were clowning on the pitcher saying, how could you leave a ball right down the middle? They're blowing smoke because this ball was down and in. Now maybe that's down the middle for left-handed hitters, but that was not over the plate, so get over yourself. That was one of the best comebacks of the year, along with the Mariners a few days ago against the Astros, and I'm still kind of sad that they traded away Kendall Graven because it kind of, defeated the momentum that the Mariners were on, but they are getting better, so I'm hoping that they make at least 1 or 2 more trades. And same with the Phillies. They're in talks right now to get other pieces. We'll have to wait and see who those pieces are. The straw that broke the camel's back, the Rays destroyed the Yankees yesterday, 14-0. Yandy Diaz, he starts it off with an RBI single, and then Meadows adds 3 more on a home run as Luis Patino, he throws 6 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts, and Brett Gardner, again, I'm not sure how much more playing time he is going to get. I don't think that they'll DFA him, but he is going to be a bench player going forward. He just drops the ball. Then you have Brett Phillips hitting a grand slam. G-Man Choi, I call him the Yankee killer. He hits a 2-run blast, and then Austin Meadows is now to 20 home runs and 76 RBIs and an almost 130 OPS plus. To me, this game set Brian Cashman off before the game even ended. He was on the phone trying to get pieces, so they have added Joey Gallo and Anthony Rizzo in the last 48 hours. The Padres shut out the Rockies. My phone keeps blowing up. Hold on. Atlanta also got Eddie Rosario from Cleveland. All right, well, it looks like Cleveland is selling. But like I mentioned, the Padres shut out the Rockies. Tatis begins the game with an RBI double, and then Musgrove, he was really good, and he's also been very good so far in 2021. His first debut season with San Diego, he lowers his ERA to 2.94 after striking out 11 in 7 shutout innings. Jake Cronenworth continues the breakout with a 2-run home run in the 8th inning, and Drew Pomeranz and Mark Melancon, they team up to shut out Colorado in the final innings. So the Padres, they're now 5.5 games back of first place, but the Giants keep on winning. The Dodgers, they needed that trade for Scherzer and Trey Turner because they got smoked by San Francisco yesterday. Crawford knocks in 2 after finding a hole to the third base side, and then Flores and Slater quickly make it 4-0, and Johnny Cueto, he was dicing people up. Almost 6 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts. Lamont Wade Jr. drives an RBI in the 7th, and the Dodgers, they fall to 3 games back of first. Okay. A quick little announcement. Pablo Sandoval is going to the Guardians / the Indians. So there's the return for Eddie Rosario. I know this video is kind of all over the place, but that's okay. I am perfectly fine with that, especially considering it's the trade deadline. Moving on over to yet another shutout. We have 3 more to talk about. The A's, they blanked the Angels in Starling Marte's first ever game with them. He draws a walk in the first. Jed Lowry, this RBI ground out, drives in a run, and then Ramon Laureano drives in 2 on this double, including Mr. Starling Marte. Ohtani, I want to bring it up, something good for the Angels fan base. His 15 stolen base of the season, he did that in the 5th inning. Then you have Matt Chapman saving Frankie Montas over at third base. And also one more thing I want to show for Angels fans. Look at this play from Iglesias, a crazy flip in the 7th as Frankie Montas, he does his thing. 7 shutout innings, 3 hits on 10 strikeouts as the Angels, they fall back to a 500 record and 6 games back of the wild card. The Brewers, I mean, what more can you say? They destroyed Pittsburgh yesterday. Rowdy Tellez, I saw him hit this pitch live and I said, what the how did he even do that? So Taylor knocks in Tellez after that double, and then Manny Pena hits a 3-run bomb. Freddie Peralta goes 6 shutout innings with only 2 hits. We're going to talk about Freddie more in just a moment as Rowdy Tellez goes 410 feet the other way. Manny Pena hits his 2nd home run of the day. Lorenzo Cain and Reyes, they make it a cool 12 runs for Milwaukee on the day, and Freddie Peralta lowers his season hits per 9 innings to 3.9. That would be history if he continues on this pace. But he also passed Nolan Ryan as the most starts in a single season with 2 or less hits allowed, with 12. Nolan Ryan had 11. Freddie Peralta is essentially unhittable. Last but not least for these shutouts, we have the Royals and the White Sox. We have Salvador Perez going 450 feet for his 25th home run. He now has 36 home runs in his last 138 games. Michael Taylor goes 432 feet, so these home runs were not cheapies. The ball was flying in Kansas City. They go 5-0 on a few sacrifice flies, and Carlos Hernandez, 4 strikeouts in 6 shutout innings, and the bullpen for Kansas City only allows 1 hit in the last 3 innings. Kansas City takes 3 out of 4 from the White Sox. Good for them. The Reds versus the Cubs. 37-year-old phenom Joey Votto has now hit a home run in 6 consecutive games. He has 8 home runs over his last 6. Patrick Wisdom and Wilson Contreras, they both go yard, and Wilson hit this ball 465 feet. Wisdom unfortunately makes an error in the 6th, and that allows Tucker Barnhart to drive in 2. Then Kyle Farmer, who has basically been Chris Bryant in the month of July, he teams up with Aristides Aquino to make it 7-3, and Michael Givens in his Reds debut strikes out 3, and they sit just 5 games back to the wild card. And also, I was wrong a few days ago. Joey Votto is not the oldest player to have a home run in 5 consecutive games. He's actually the 4th oldest to hit a home run in 6 straight, so the more you know. We have the Tigers versus the Orioles. Jonathan Scope drives in Akil Baddoo, and I'm hearing word that Jonathan Scope is not going anywhere, and I'm sure Tigers fans are happy to hear that. Eric Haas, he drives in another RBI on a sacrifice fly, and a nice double play was started by Miggy. That was right before Eric Haas drives in his 2nd RBI of the day. He has been a machine lately. And Miggy hits career home run number 496 as Casey Mize goes 7 innings of 0 earned run baseball. He gave up 1, but it was unearned. Miggy then comes in clutch with his 2nd home run of the day. He is now sitting 3 home runs away from 500 for his career. My phone is blowing up yet again. That is not anything happening. The Blue Jays destroyed Boston yesterday. Hunter Renfroe wasn't able to read this ball off the bat from Teoscar Hernandez. The Jays are up for 6 runs before the 5th inning, and then Hunter, he does kind of make up for it. He robs Randall Grichuk in the 4th, but then Vlad Jr., he says, "You're not going to be able to rob this one, buddy." He is now up to 33 home runs. He gets those runs back that Hunter Renfroe robbed on this 3-run moonshot, and the Jays go up 12-0 for Hyunjin Ryu. 6 shutout innings, 5 strikeouts on 2 hits, and no walks allowed. And last but not least, Austin Riley. This dude has been playing like an MVP almost all season, but he's not going to win MVP, obviously. I'm just saying he has been playing like that. He has 21 home runs. I'm super happy for him. And Abraham Almonte hits a home run as Austin Riley drives in his 60th RBI later on in the game. Drew Smiley was throwing a gem, and that was before Pete Alonso hit a baseball. I think this was 894 feet. This ball went to the 3rd deck. You have Dansby Swanson getting those runs back in the 8th, and Atlanta, they're 1 game away from getting back to a 500 record, so we all know what that means. They're going to lose the next game. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they could break the curse. All right, everyone. That does it for today's recap. There's not going to be a This Day in MLB History because I have to edit this bad boy ASAP because I'm pretty sure that Chris Bryant is going to get traded and maybe a few other guys. So turn on those bells. Today is craziness. The deadline ends in about 2 or 3 hours, so stay tuned.